the crew have installed cameras, so they're minimally talking through on the face, occasionally at the bathroom.
Probably get some of it. You got a pen? I've got. Have you got? I think I've got a pen somewhere. Hold on. There's nothing much there. Let me have a look.
Here's the next display item, an aircraft we saw earlier in our Sally B and D Day salute formation.
I'll just stick. I need a bit longer bit of paper than that.
So, roll operated by pt18, another of the Duxford base operators. Consolidated PDY paradigm California once again.
Yeah, good, yeah. Just click on like on my video, will you?
Crew with pt18 Thunderbolt. The aircraft landed on the water, but it tipped back up again because the starboard engine had gone down. Thankfully, it took the 90 minutes to get away from the Dutch coast. Midday flying by, this is the pt18 jet fighters of the Luftwaffe came along and shot up the strange 018 survived by the technical goodies and in the first class and were president until the and indeed the early examples were pure flying boats. This PDY-5A model designation said that A in fact amphibian because it does have a retractable carriage, nicely landing here. The conclusions developed in a run-up to the impending war when the US Navy saw that it needed a new control bomber, recognised the growing Japanese threat in the Pacific, consolidated aircraft won the contract. Size in October 1946 and in World War II it saw use almost new theatres. initially in the Pacific, then in the Battle of the Atlantic and in the Indian Ocean. It was in the Battle of the Atlantic that RAF captains in particular closed the so-called mid-Atlantic gap, an area in which German submarines, supported by Admiral W-200 Condor maritime aircraft, were able to row those winds. Even Baltic boats now being deployed.
Is this flying again to fill in for something? Didn't it fly before?
Yeah, but that was just
in the formation, yeah.
I think this is its proper display.
Continues its display. Those wing floats, of course, very important to ensure the stability of the aircraft whilst in the water. Beyond combat duties, continue to provide service in a somewhat different field as a water bomber.
It looks like the Reds.
A number of these were deployed in that particular role.
The clouds really gone up now. Oh, the meteor's going off as well. It's about to take off.
But its most vital role probably was during the Second World War, in the role of anti-submarine warfare, where a friend was saying, Catalina has managed to close the Atlantic gap, which eliminates the decrease range or using shipping. This Viking supplies
I was going to say, I love putting on a 20 knot wind on flights and offering them. That's always been fun.
There are about 20 owners of this particular aircraft. And one of the owners was a guest of ours last year, and heard us talking about the share that would become available. As a result of that, he is now one of the proud owners of 20 of this fantastic aircraft. Contributed to World War II. You can see
I might be asleep, but I might be
champion David Corner, the Latin member of the Royal Canadian Air Force, won the Victoria Cross. There's the Meteor going out to face at Coventry.
Meteor. Yeah. So here comes the Apaches.
Aviation to go and hold to the south. You can see them just spot turning. Which I'm not sure they're going to yes, they are indeed. Then they are holding for the category of the half five. While we get the leader back onto the ground and then get the Apaches off to hold, we're about to move on to another of our D-Day themed segments of today's programme. We take you back to Berlin in 1945. The German capital had been ravaged by years of Allied strategic bombing and Soviet shelling in the lead-up to the final battle for Berlin. On the right eastern front, ground-attack aircraft like the Aviation pt18 played their huge role, escorted by Yavor fighters. So too they did now, that in April 1945 the German capital was about to fall. This was how the BBC reported the situation on the 21st of April 1945.
Have also captured the city of Australia, which, like the Right Front, stands very near the Other Soviet troops have also driven almost to the center of the city from the east. The German High Command communique, still issued nominally from Hitler's headquarters, opened this afternoon with these words. In the heart of Berlin, the gallant garrison, closely gathered around the Führer, is defending itself in a reduced space against the superior Bolsheviks. That's the first time during the crisis, and probably the first time ever, that the Nazis have put Hitler into one of his own countries. They go on to speak about the heroic struggle of moving under his
So, Berlin, April 1945, on the 26th of that month, he's left by 156 short. Like the example, proportionately low level in front of us. This amazing German observation in the radar aircraft. Lincoln and the Brandenburg Gate. On board were two people. One of them, the great German aviatrix Anna Weitsch. The second, was a senior Luftwaffe officer by the name of General Feldmarschall Robert Ritter von Rhein. He was flying towards the centre of Berlin because he'd been summoned by Hitler to his bunker, and von Rhein was ordered to assume command of the Luftwaffe. Returning the boats on board has been hit by small arms fire. Von Rhein was injured and it said that Reich had to take over the aircraft's controls. The following day, a ship like this was shot down over the centre of Berlin by a yacht like the Yacht 3, 4 times engaged the storm. Most famous yacht through Europe was, of course, the Normandy squadron. The French units were the Nord chasse and the Europe in 1923 after the German invasion of the USSR. In order to promote ties between the Gauls and the French and the Soviets. The unit scored the last of its 273 confirmed kills in the Yacht 3, before the French pilots and the Soviet aircraft returned to France in June 1945. Well, we're seeing not just something, but quite a lot here of the qualities that may restore such an outstanding aeroplane. They have people firm based in the history, the useless medications in the air class within the sector. It's so prolific. The class, 15 minutes sorted control surfaces on the new training airplanes. The other famous short exploit apart from the flight by Reich and von Rhein in Berlin was September 1943's rescue of the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini from his mountaintop hotel hideout in the Apennines. Fokker 8 Wielis FA-223 helicopter had failed in its mission. A Sturm was sent. It flew the overthrown dictator to Category in Rome, where he was transported to Duxford. This aircraft was an original German-built Sturm, produced in 1943. And for a number of years it's been owned and operated by Peter Holloway, who bases it for Old Rawdon. Quite a lot of the examples of the Sturm that exist nowadays and are displayed as such on the airshow circuit were produced by Morin-Saulnier in France, known as the Cliquet. This one has the original Argus AX-10 V8 engine of 240 horsepower as opposed to the road units that were used by many of the Cliquets. I think we can assume that on this occasion the Rex was not successful in downing the shore. Into the air now go two of the lighter aircraft that they flying program, but these in the seas, it's a regular flying service that drives contemporaries in the areas of the shore. It's not quite this way flying. The 5J1 aircraft, representing the military officers, leading the fighter service using this formation. Various helping programs about the turning into this is civilian 5J1 orchestra model. You see it here in recognition of what the Oscar Air Observation Post, or AOP aircraft, did through World War II. It came into use in 1942 and they went on to serve in support of British Army artillery units in many theatres, particularly in Normandy. Cub and Foster in head on to us for a break. To the left, to the right. What these little aircraft would do is basically really a huge amount of firepower. Not in themselves, of course, but in terms of directing artillery fire. They were able to pop up over the horizon and thereby provide reconnaissance and everywhere to those in the field tasked with directing artillery and thus able to direct it that more effectively. Cubs and Osters were amongst the first Allied aircraft ashore in Normandy after D-Day. There's one theory that the first American aircraft ashore there after D-Day was the Piper Air 4, America's one Lieutenant Thomas K. Turner. There were two Cubs along with 11 Jeeps that were aboard a pt18, a landing craft tank that made for Omaha Beach. One of the Cubs was lost in the water when the LCT grounded. Turner's machine was pulled ashore only to be lost to artillery fire. He was further sheltered and were unhurt. Turner then went back across the sea to England, picked up another Cub, and on D-Day 2011 landed above Omaha Beach. By the end of June, 261 US Army liaison aircraft, both Cubs and L5 Sentinels, were operational with the First Army in France. One Cub in 1945 conducted what's been dubbed the last dogfight on the Western Front of World War II. It was in flight when it spotted a low-flying fuselage storm, and the crewman in the rear of the Cub found his pistol fired on the shore and managed to bring it down.
Not a great catch, pulled down by the
slowly but surely, looking at very, very nice wind as well. It would be possible for the aircraft virtually to have because it's got a backwards. The Cub also played a role in pilot training with the US military, and about 80% of all US military pilots in the United States of World War II trained originally in the civil version, the James Cub. Officer and Cub now turning finally. The Cub is owned by our flying display director, William Fraser. It wears the markings of an aircraft from the US 82nd Airborne Division that was one of the first two L4s to operate in Normandy after D-Day. The Oster here recalls the fact that civil aviation started up in Britain once again very soon after World War II. In fact, the first owner of this Oster, which started to be produced before the D-Day, rolled off the production line shortly afterwards, Mr. Thomas Shipside of Nottinghamshire, started rolling his new private airstrip on D-Day, indeed, I should say, itself, the 8th of May 1945. It's owned and operated at Duxford by the Millers. Mark Miller was flying it today. We saw him in the Rapide earlier. It's flown many Duxford Aviation Society members on air experience flights over the years, and it's been based at Duxford for longer than any other aeroplane, certainly airworthy aeroplanes apart from B-17 Sally B. Dave Pulliston was in the Cub, Richard Gross in the Act 3 that tried to take on the Shaw, and the Shaw's owner Peter Holloway flying that aeroplane. Peter has flown that aircraft to Germany on more than one occasion. It must have been a very slow flight, cruising speed just over 90 miles an hour, and he says the aircraft burns more fuel than a Spitfire. Superb flying from him in that airplane. Now it's a modern day Army Aviation, and I'm joined by Captain Johnny Long to talk us through the Army Air Corps attack helicopter display team. Good afternoon.